Hello friends, welcome to our channel. The desert at night has its own silence, a silence so deep that even the smallest sound feels loud. Under a sky filled with countless stars stood a beautiful and peaceful village called Kuldhara. It was not just a group of houses, but a place full of life dreams and people who had built everything with their hard work. On one particular night, the village was glowing with happiness. It was around evening time, and every house was filled with warm light. Oil lamps flickered gently as families prepared their meals. The smell of food spread through the narrow streets. Children laughed and ran around while elders sat together talking about life. Everything felt calm, safe, and normal. No one in the village had even the smallest idea that this would be their last night there. As the night slowly grew darker, something began to change. The air felt heavier than usual. The silence was no longer peaceful. It felt strange. It was as if the village itself knew something was about to happen. One by one, doors closed, lights dimmed, and people prepared to sleep. But behind that quiet night, a powerful decision was being made. Hours passed, and the desert remained still. No loud noises, no chaos, no panic, just silence. But in that silence, something unbelievable took place. By the time the first light of morning touched the village, everything had changed. When the sun rose and its golden light spread across the houses, Kuldhara looked the same from a distance. The buildings were still strong, the streets were still there. But as soon as someone stepped inside, they would feel it: the emptiness, the stillness, the absence of life. Cooking pots still had food inside, untouched. Doors were left open as if people had walked out in a hurry. But there was no sign of where they went. Not a single person remained around. 1,500 people had disappeared overnight without leaving even a trace. To understand how such a shocking event could happen, we need to travel back in time many centuries. Before that night, this village was built by the intelligent and hardworking Paliwal Brahmins, who came from the Pali region. Instead of choosing comfortable lands, they made a bold decision to move deep into the desert near Jaisalmer. Life in the desert is extremely difficult. Water is rare, the heat is intense, and survival is a daily challenge. But these people were not ordinary. They had deep knowledge of nature and science. They created a powerful system to collect every drop of rainwater. Small channels were built to guide water into ponds and underground storage areas. No matter where the rain fell, it was carefully collected and saved. Because of this system, the village did something that seemed impossible. They grew crops in the desert. Fields of millet, pulses, and sesame could be seen. Even fruits like watermelon were grown, which require a good amount of water. This shows how advanced their knowledge and planning was. Their village became rich, peaceful, and self-sufficient. The houses in Kuldhara were built with great intelligence. Thick stone walls protected people from extreme heat and kept the inside cool. Many houses had two floors, which shows their strong architectural skills. At the center of the village stood a temple where people prayed every day. They believed their goddess was protecting them and guiding their lives. For many years, everything was perfect. The village grew stronger, families lived happily, and life moved smoothly. But sometimes, even the most peaceful places hide a dark future. One of the most famous stories behind the disappearance speaks about a powerful and greedy minister from the nearby kingdom. He became obsessed with a young girl from the village. His desire was not based on love, but on power. He wanted to marry her forcefully and sent a warning to the villagers that they must agree or face serious consequences. The villagers were shocked and afraid, but they were also united. They knew they could not allow this injustice. Instead of fighting a battle they could not win, they made a bold and painful decision. They chose to leave their homes, their land, and everything they had built over generations. That night, while the village looked peaceful from the outside, every family quietly prepared to leave. There were no loud cries, no chaos, no confusion, just silent determination. Under the cover of darkness, all the people walked away together, leaving everything behind. It is believed that before leaving they cursed the land, saying that no one would ever be able to live there again. But this is not the only explanation. Some people believe there could have been a serious environmental problem. Maybe the water sources were slowly drying up, or the land was becoming unlivable. The villagers might have planned their escape carefully to survive somewhere else. But if that is true, one question still remains: how did so many people disappear so cleanly without leaving any trace at all? Even today, Kuldhara stands silent under the desert sky. Visitors who go there often feel something unusual. Some say They hear whispers when no one is around, others feel like they are being watched. Many believe that the village still carries the energy of its past and the pain of that mysterious night. As the sun sets over the ruins and darkness slowly takes over the empty houses, the story of Kuldhara comes alive again in the minds of those who visit the wind moving through broken walls. Almost feels like it is trying to tell a story that has remained hidden for centuries. So, what really happened that night? Was it a curse created by pain and anger? Was it fear that forced people to disappear? Or was it a carefully planned escape that was executed perfectly? The truth is still buried somewhere in the sands of the desert, waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more mysterious and interesting stories.